Have you ever won an argument but walked away feeling worse? Yes, I had that before. And it made me ask, what's the point of being right if we're not feeling right inside? Want to share with you my personal reflection on that? First, hello, my Hello Kindness friend. This week I've been reflecting on something that feels really simple, but also really deep. What if raising our energy, our state of being, is more important than winning an argument? I used to think clarity, logic, and truth were extremely important in communication. And yes, those things matter, but I've also had moments where I've proved my point, but ending up feeling heavy, drained, or even disconnected. Or sometimes just feeling a little bit awkward. Like even if I won the argument, but deep inside, I wish I didn't. Because maybe when I think it deeper, because it hurt the relationship. And I want to ask you, have you had ever happened to you? So what is the trap of needing to be right? I think it's easy to get pulled into the trap of being right, especially when we feel misunderstood or when something touches our old wound. We tend to raise our voice and we get sharper with our words. We try to explain ourselves like just one more time, trying to convince the other person that we are right. Or sometimes even worse, that they are wrong. And then what happened? When we think about it, even if the other person agrees or gives in, something still doesn't feel good. Because what we gain is in logic, but what we have lost is in the connection, the relationship. And to me, that's not a true win. So let's reflect on what is raising our energy and what does it mean? I think it doesn't mean that we're pretending to be positive all the time, but I think it means to choosing to respond from a higher energy level, a higher vibration. Something that is like from peace, from presence, from compassion and awareness. I want to give you an example. I remember one time I was just teaching my son how to cook an egg, how to flip it. I wanted to eat over easy style. So I showed him step by step. But he kept doing it his way, saying that he's correct. And of course, it doesn't cook right, not the way that I wanted. And the way he was using the spatula, it's just not going to work. So I taught him a couple of times, showed him and guided him. But through the experience, I noticed and my awareness told me, he'll figure it out on his own eventually. And maybe just maybe letting him struggle a little bit is the best way to teach him and the best way for him to learn. That meal, I remember I didn't get the perfect over easy egg, but it was still delicious. Maybe it was a good experience for me too. I don't have to eat an over easy egg, even I wanted to at that time. I'm okay to go with the flow. Because I think more importantly, the energy between us, myself and my son, was it stayed light, loving, funny, and we were connected. So I think that shift changed the whole experience. I was not adamant that I needed to teach my son to cook or how to cook an over easy egg. That was not the point. The point was the experience that we had, joking around and having some fun. So how mindfulness supports the shift that I experienced that allowed me to be aware of myself at that time. I think what aware mindfulness truly helps is that when we pause and give ourselves space to notice the present moment, we give ourselves a better chance to make a wiser choice, a conscious choice. So in that moment with my son, I realized I didn't need to be right about everything. And what I truly cared about was the joy of spending time with him together. And when the space arises, we get to ask, what does this moment really need? Some questions are like, am I speaking from love and presence, or from fear, frustration, or criticism? Is my energy helping the situation to rise or to make it worse? I think sometimes the most powerful response is silence. Just observe, or softness, and to simply listen with presence. Considering, I think, the emotional energy at that time, it was awesome. I'm sure it was positive. So how does emotional energy relate to that? Because energy is contagious. Let me ask you, have you ever walked into a room where like two people had just argued and without hearing a word, you could feel the tension, like something was not right? You had, right? I know I had that many times. Or on the flip side, have you been around someone that is calm, grounded, and warm, and you found yourself in that relaxing state as well? We don't really need to communicate with words. It's our vibration. Is we can communicate through presence, through our energetic state. Because when we give permission for others to take in our energy, we all rise. Or if we radiate negative energy, they can feel it, and we all fall. So I think we give permission for others to rise, but by not pushing them, okay? But by being an anchor, by being an example, and by radiating more life supporting energy. I think that is the key. So I think you might be wondering, but what if I like, but what if I let go of the truth? Okay. Then this is my perspective on that. Because you might be wondering, like, in that situation or any other situation, am I avoiding the truth if I let go to being right? Am I just don't have, uh, or not standing on my ground? Okay, here's what I think. The short answer is I don't think so, because you're not really avoiding the truth. You are making space for truth to be received. Because sometimes we speak the truth, but the energy is heavy, urgent, or angry. So because of that, that energy makes others resist or shut down. So what's the sense of telling the truth if the other person is not receiving it as how you tell them, right? So what is truth really? When we really think about it, it really depends on our own perspective, because all truth are partial truth. There's a saying that says all truth are but half truth. So let's say, for example, you see a wooden table and say, oh, that's a table. For sure, 100% that's a table. Okay, there's no other way of telling it, right? Or describing it. But what if, when we think about it, from a termite's point of view, it's a giant feast? So which one is true? I'm using this example just to share with you, because we are all based on truth from our own perspective. right? So from a termite's point of view, it's a feast. So which one is true, isn't it? So in reality, in that example, I think both are true, isn't it? Every experience is personal and subjective. I want to sit with that. Yeah, I think that's really true. So there's a practice I think we can try, and I invite you to try it this week. So next time someone disagrees with you, try pause, breathe, and try observing and simply noticing what's present. Your breath, your physical sensation, even your inner state. Treat it like an object, something you can observe without judgment. And before speaking, ask, what energy am I bringing to this moment? Let's try this. Inhale, exhale. Because when you are really being present, that actually gives you a space to reflect, to observe. So just observe. Let yourself soften. You might still speak the truth, at least according to your perspective, but you will be speaking it from a higher place. You will walk away not just winning the moment, but also growing your spirit, I think, and protecting the relationship as well. So to wrap it up today's content, I'll ask again, what if raising your energy is more important than being right? That's the path I want to keep practicing. And if you're walking it too, I would love to hear your stories in the comment sections. Let's keep growing together, all right? With clarity, kindness, and consciousness. See you next time. Thank you.